Welcome back. For today's Business Matters, we have Don Ma here with us. Don, good to see you.
Good to see you as well. How are you guys doing?
Not too bad.
Despite it being a Monday, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so a couple of updates, and I'll start with Volkswagen here. So what's happening is the plan is Volkswagen to shut down at least 3 factories in Germany and lay off tens of thousands of workers. The automaker will also scale back its remaining plants in the country. So the announcement marks the latest escalation between Volkswagen's employees and management. The automaker is under pressure to cut costs and to remain competitive amid weaker demand from China and Europe. Volkswagen said early last month that it would have to drop a job protection pledge in force since 1994. That pledge would have barred layoffs through 2029. So Volkswagen didn't specify which plants would be affected, and it's unclear how many of its roughly 300,000 employees in Germany would be laid off. Pay negotiations between Volkswagen and the workers' union are due to resume on Wednesday later this week. Now, Boeing launched a stock offering today that could raise up to $19 billion. The effort comes amid a worker strike and a year-long safety crisis. Roughly 33,000 workers walked off the job last month. Boeing was already reeling from the strike. The Federal Aviation Administration imposed a cap on production of its MAX jets this year. This is after the mid-air panel blowout back in January. Now, last week, the company reported a $6 billion third quarter loss. Striking workers rejected a proposal of the contract on the same day. Now, rating agencies have warned that a prolonged strike could lead to a downgrade in Boeing's credit rating. And earlier this month, the plane maker announced plans to raise up to $25 billion through stock and debt offerings. Now, the world's largest contract computer chip maker suspended shipments to China. Taiwan's semiconductor manufacturing company cut off China-based chip design SoftGo. Sources told Reuters that the move was in response to a TSMC chip being found on a Huawei AI processor, and Huawei is restricted from buying TSMC chips due to risks to U.S. national security. SoftGo said it has shared reports to TSMC to prove it's not connected to Huawei. And Elon Musk has been sued for his daily $1 million giveaways to voters who pledged to support the First and Second Amendments. Philadelphia's DA says it's an illegal lottery. Take a look at this story.
Judy Kimura.
Elon Musk's daily $1 million giveaways.
Oh, thank you.
Hit with their first lawsuit. Philadelphia DA Larry Krasner says Musk is running an illegal lottery. The lawsuit claims all lotteries in Pennsylvania must be regulated by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. It says lotteries must follow state regulations, including procedures for claiming prizes, the use of lottery funds, and disclosures on the odds of winning. Krasner says Musk also needs to publish a complete set of lottery rules.
We needed to get the legacy media to talk about it. And I just knew that they would be like complaining like hell.
Elon Musk says the goal of the giveaway is to promote his petition to support the Constitution. He has not yet commented on the lawsuit. This comes after the Department of Justice warned Musk the giveaway might violate the law. Experts say it falls into a gray area. The legal action in Philadelphia is a civil lawsuit. The DA's website suggests a criminal indictment could be possible.
Meanwhile, job seekers may turn to tech industries, but a new analysis reveals less glamorized industries have more growth. In fact, it's an industrial supply company that's at the top of the American Opportunity Index. For the past 3 years, the AOI has tracked career trajectories of more than 5 million U.S. workers and nearly 400 companies. Grainger takes the top billing in the annual ranking for investing the most in its workers. The top 25 is made up of companies like warehouse giant retailer Costco and insurer MetLife. Only one of the so-called Magnificent Seven cleared the top 25, and that is Meta. California Governor Gavin Newsom wants his state to remain the #1 destination for the entertainment industry. He has proposed doubling the state's film and tax incentives to lure more people into the state. California is facing competition from other states around the country, and he wants to make sure the Golden State invests in what has become a key economic driver for the state. Newsom's proposal will expand the annual tax credit pool to $750 million compared to its current total of $330 million. This would top New York's current film incentive.
And there's an old saying, if you want to do well in the future, you got to invest in the future. And so this is about investing in the future of this industry, future of the state, the values we hold dear, investing in our creativity, this great cultural export, and investing in the men and women in closing you see behind me. And I really appreciate.
Moving on from that, fans of McDonald's are getting some good news, and this is after a bad week for the company. Locations that haven't been serving quarter pounders due to an E. coli outbreak are putting them back on the menu. McDonald's says that's because it has ruled out the burger's beef patties as the source of the illnesses. For now, the newly restored quarter pounders won't quite be the same. Here's more on that.
McDonald's says it's putting the quarter pounder back on menus nationwide. That's after an E. coli outbreak tied to the burgers prompted their removal from locations in some states. The Colorado Department of Agriculture says it tested beef patties from restaurants associated with the outbreak and found no E. coli. McDonald's says that result and other data lead it to believe the patties were not what made people sick. The CDC says the outbreak has caused at least 1 death, more than 20 hospitalizations, and dozens of other cases.
And the more the night went on, the worse and severe the cramping got, to the point that my kidneys were hurting really, really bad.
Investigators think another potential source of the outbreak could be contaminated onions. McDonald's says locations that got them from the Taylor Farms facility in Colorado Springs will serve quarter pounders without that topping for now. That's as federal regulators continue to investigate.
It will be over when the science says it's over, when we can conclusively say this is what happened.
Okay, let's talk about Crocs. Pretty popular among kids and teens, potentially for the comfort and convenience, but many schools are now banning Crocs due to concerns about safety and distractions. Multiple schools across at least 12 states have prohibited students from wearing them. The reasons for the bans include students tripping and falling when not using the safety straps on the clogs. Some schools said it increased accidents and distractions during class. So these distractions include students playing with charms attached to the shoes and throwing them at each other. Crocs president said that the company is unaware of any substantiated data supporting the rise in school bans. Now, a Dutch medical device manufacturer is the latest global company to warn about the health of China's economy. Philips has lowered its sales outlook for the year due to a significant slump in demand in China. The company said it's been hit hard by deterioration in consumer confidence and an ongoing state-led anti-corruption campaign which has slowed orders from Chinese hospitals. In response, Philips shares plunged more than 16% today. This is said to be its biggest one-day loss in 26 years. The company said almost a third of its sales are from growth geographies, which include China. Now, speaking of China, the country's business enrollment environment, that is being described as challenging and troubled as global companies navigate a slowed economy and diminished consumer confidence. Some of the biggest names have warned that Chinese consumers have curbed their spending across all categories. So they include Coca-Cola, United, Mercedes, and more. And as a result, companies have cut prices and costs and scaled back activity in China. Despite the downturn, some companies like handbag maker Hermes are still investing in the world's second largest economy. Beijing has promised more assistance, but further stimulus is uncertain, and investors are not convinced that it's going to be enough. So staying on China, another sign of China's deep economic downturn is its latest industrial profits. Last month saw China the steepest dip in profits since the pandemic. This is based on the data from the National Bureau of Statistics. Data kept by Wind Information reported that a nearly 18% drop in August was followed by a more than 27% decline in September. The data excludes numbers from most of 2022 when parts of the country were facing strict pandemic measures. Goldman Sachs chief China economist said that the data underscores the need for more forceful policies from Beijing. Fiscal stimulus measures are expected to be announced early next month after the nation's scheduled parliament meeting. European luxury automakers are feeling the pressure from Chinese competitors that are subsidized by the government. The Chinese car makers are selling their vehicles at a fraction of the cost, and TD Shar Marshall has more on that.
Chinese auto manufacturers are getting in on the luxury vehicle game. In China, they're selling fancy cars subsidized by the government. And in Europe, you've got BYD's Yang Wang SUV and NIO's EP9 supercar. This is happening at the same time as Mercedes and Porsche are experiencing falling profits in China. Mercedes reported its weakest profitability since 2021. "We don't take the competition lightly. I don't assume that the pressure will just go away tomorrow," said Harold Wilhelm, Mercedes' chief financial officer. According to a Bloomberg report, Porsche said it's weighing cost cuts and reviewing its model lineup after a demand slump in China caused earnings to plunge. The legacy and attraction of Porsche and Mercedes has traditionally given them a market advantage in the luxury market. But China's luxury cars are hitting the market for a fraction of the price. According to McKinsey & Company market research, luxury car sales continue to surpass the mass market in terms of growth, profitability, and buzz. Luxury vehicles also have some of the highest profit margins in the industry, and customers tend to be more loyal and make repeat purchases, making it a prime target for Chinese automakers. The European luxury buyer still loves his or her three-pointed star, said Michael Dunn, head of Dunn Insights LLC. Customers in the West do not seem to attribute the same level of importance to the digital experience, at least not yet. Sean Marshall, NTD News.
Next, Target is making it easier on your wallet to host Thanksgiving dinner this year. Target announced today it's offering a meal bundle for just $20, which is $5 less than last year, by the way. It feeds 4 people and includes all the traditional Thanksgiving favorites. The bundle includes a frozen turkey of up to 10 pounds, potatoes, canned green beans, cream of mushroom soup, boxed stuffing mix, and jarred gravy. Target also says it's offering deals on other side dishes, for example, macaroni and cheese, and desserts as well, including apple and pumpkin pie. Other retailers, including Aldi and Walmart, have previously announced they were also lowering the prices of their Thanksgiving meal deals. A deep pass from the NFL to Cosm for a broadcasting touchdown. The National Football League has teamed up with the immersive entertainment company to televise its games. Cosm creates what it calls shared reality. It's like a real-life experience for viewers with a 360-degree dome and giant 4K LED screens. Cosm announced its partnership with the NFL today. As part of the deal, Cosm will play games at its venues throughout the rest of the season on Thursdays, Sundays, and Mondays. Now, 4 decades of solving puzzles falling from the sky in real time, Tetris has leveled up its gaming experience in London to mark its 40th anniversary. Take a look.
Yeah, it was really exciting. I've never played Tetris before.
Introducing a gaming classic to a new generation.
I think that's cool, but it's also a bit strange because I hadn't even heard of it for 7 years until now.
Well, as I was playing it at her age, so yeah.
Celebrate its 40th anniversary, the official Tetris team partnered with Outernet in London to launch this interactive version of the game. Outernet has described this as the largest interactive multiplayer Tetris game ever.
We're pretty confident that nowhere else in the world, it's a really world first, has you ever been able to sort of play Tetris on a grand scale like this. So the Outernet screens are a 4-story, 26K interactive screen canvas with spatialized audio.
Really fun. The graphics are unbelievable here, so it makes it really easy to play and sort of quite exciting to watch as well.
Here's how it works. Incoming gamers scan a QR. that launches a web-based app on phones. From there, gamers have their controller ready to move pieces in real time directly on the screens.
So you can play by yourself, you can play with your friends and family, strangers in the space as well. And just like with any Tetris game, the object is to try and build your lines, move your tetraminos down, and essentially clear lines with it on the screens.
Outernet's website says the Tetris Anniversary experience opens today and is completely free to join and play.
And before we go here, Wall Street closed higher today. It's going to be a packed week of earnings from mega cap companies, around 169 of S&P 500 companies scheduled to report through the week. And that includes the bulk of the Magnificent Seven group of mega cap technology stocks that have driven Wall Street to all-time highs. So last week, NVIDIA surpassed Apple as the world's most valuable company. Investors will be looking out for AI spending guidance in tech earnings this week. And of course, it's the final stretch before the November 5th presidential election. And markets are more broadly pricing in a second Trump administration. Though with that being said, the election is expected to be very close. All right, that's all the stories we have today in Business Matters. Back to you guys, Carrie, Fiona.
Don, Fiona, you guys ever play any Tetris?
Played a little bit, yeah, not on the original console, though. I usually just play on my phone.
Yeah, I mean, like, who hasn't played Tetris, right? But one thing I gotta say, playing Tetris in front of like hundreds of people, thousands, like if you're not really good, I mean, that's kind of embarrassing. I don't know if I would be up to that task of playing on that giant screen there.
Yeah, I think I'll just keep it to my kids and myself and not step up to the big leagues there. So.
Yeah.
Thanks, Don. We'll see you back tomorrow.
See you.